This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to do a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 7 and 8. Next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 9 and 10, a reading of my fantasy short story The Witch's Origin, and in a few weeks a movie review for Black Panther. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments. Make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So, the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to do a recap of volumes 7 and 8. It starts with a recap of volume 7, and then I'll give my thoughts on volume 7 and do the same for volume 8. So, let's get right to it. With Skip Beat Volume 7. The volume begins with Ren telling Kyoko that her acting has improved quite a bit. Kyoko tells Ren that she's not studying acting for revenge against Shofua. She wants to create Kyoko Mogami. Ren smiles at her and tells her that he believes her. Kyoko reveals that she may not dislike Mr. Suruga, and then Kyoko falls asleep at Ren's place studying. She realizes that she doesn't have to get 100% on all subjects, and that this isn't an exam to please her mother. Kyoko and Ren go to Ren's next shoot. Kyoko acquires a bicycle and they rush to the shoot. It's actually quite comical. Kyoko passes her exams and goes to high school, and a budding new idol, Memori Nanokura, keeps picking on Kyoko in this really roundabout way. It's kind of passive aggressive, pretty much. Um, Riding her bicycle to work, Kyoko sees the Carrara commercial on a big screen outside. But people around her find Moko to be attractive, but find Kyoko to be plain. Ren calls Kyoko on her cell phone. He is looking down on her from a balcony. Ren and Yashiro come down to see her and congratulate her on the commercial. Ren tells Kyoko that she looks great in her school uniform, and she thanks Ren for helping her. Ren then tells her that he wants to thank her too, and he explains that he made it in time to the shoot, and then he gives her a stamp. Kyoko says that she just did what she was supposed uh, to do her duty perfectly. Ren gives her back the stamp book, and there are two stamps. One is a 100% stamp, and another is a -10 stamp for a total of 90 points. Mr. Sarara gets a call from Queen Records. They want to use the two girls from the Carrara commercial for a promo clip for a new song from Sho Fuwa. Mr. Sarara talks with Kyoko, but she initially refuses the offer. Kyoko talks with Moko, and Moko reveals that she got an offer to work in a drama. It's a 2-hour drama, and Moko was chosen over someone else. She reveals that to make her dream come true, she doesn't mind using other people as stepping stones. Moko says that she has to refuse the offer for the Shofua promo clip, but Kyoko decides to accept the offer. At Queen Records, Shoko and a woman named Miss Asami watch a Carrara commercial. Sho is told that the long-haired girl Moko turned down the offer, but Sho knows someone that'll take it. Sho wonders if that is really the Kyoko that he knew, and he realizes that it is her and wants revenge, and wants her to come on quick. Kyoko comes to Queen Records wearing the Love Me uniform. Elsewhere at an airport, Yashiro and Ren get into a flight. Ren hopes that Kyoko never sees Shofua. Kyoko waits for everyone in a room alone, and they're all late. So she goes to see what's going on, and she runs into Shofua. However, she acts like this Kogal and acts as if she met Sho for the first time. It turns out that they took Kyoko to the wrong room, and Sho questions if she is really the Kyoko that he knew or someone else entirely. Kyoko is introduced to Miss Haruki Asami, who is the general producer. Memori, Kyoko's classmate who bullies her, approaches them. Sho calls her Pochi. Memori recognizes Kyoko, but Kyoko acts like she doesn't know her and interrupts her when she says anything about Kyoko. So Miss Asami tells Kyoko that Memori is appearing in Sho's promo clip with her. Memori tells Kyoko that she's going to play the role of the angel who falls in love with Sho. Miss Asami explains that the promo clip is like a fantasy. Sho is a devil, and the two girls are angels. One angel falls in love with the devil. The other angel kills the devil because the one that loves the devil, her life is in danger. Kyoko volunteers to be the angel who kills the devil. Memori speaks with Sho alone, but Kyoko overhears him. She tells him that Kyoko goes to her school. Sho asks Memori for Kyoko's real name and last name, but Memori is stopped by Kyoko's grudges. Uh, they all eat lunch, and Memori made Sho's lunch and gives it to him. Kyoko sits across from Sho, but Sho has a difficult time eating a sweet tamagoyaki, as Kyoko knows he doesn't like them. So he's about to throw it away, but Kyoko tosses a salt packet at him. Sho then is dressed up as a devil, and he starts to suspect that Kyoko is indeed the Kyoko he grew up with. He sees a beauty product that's a bottle shaped like a swan that Kyoko was interested in last year. Sho approaches Kyoko aggressively, but Memori gets between them. Sho decides to use the beauty product. She shows it to Kyoko and asks what it's called. It's called Royal Snow, but Kyoko runs up to it and calls it Odette, as Sho knows that Kyoko made her own name for it. Kyoko gets found out by Sho. Elsewhere, Ren talks with Yashiro. Yashiro questions why Ren gave Kyoko the minus stamp. Uh, Yashiro questions if Ren likes Kyoko, but Ren just says that he doesn't hate her. Memori is dressed up as the angel. Sho reveals that Kyoko is her enemy, or is his enemy. Kyoko comes out dressed as the angel, and Sho cannot help but stare at her, questioning if that's really her. Kyoko kicks Sho, grabs him by the collar, and tells him that the person he knew before is gone forever. Miss Asami asks Sho if he knows Kyoko from somewhere. He tells her that she's a childhood friend, but he doesn't recognize her at all now. Sho approaches Kyoko, who is glaring at him. She tells him to do something about Memori, who can't act as friends with Kyoko. Sho talks with Memori, and Memori comments that Sho can't take his eyes off of Kyoko. Kyoko and Memori act apart just fine. Asami tells Sho that Memori is starting to look good because of Kyoko's acting. Asami warns Sho that he's got to pull himself together when acting with Kyoko, otherwise she'll overwhelm him like she's doing with Memori. So at the end of the volume, Sho realizes that Kyoko is going to try to chew him to bits with her acting. So, some thoughts on this volume. We're getting more into Kyoko's improving acting ability. You know, Ren is recognizing it. Asami recognizes it. Kyoko made Memori be able to act, and now it's going to be used as a weapon against Sho. And Sho isn't an actor; he's a singer. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how that goes. Ren is still under this belief that Kyoko's doing acting for revenge. Um, I think it's fair to say that the initial reason for getting into show business was for Kyoko to get her revenge on Sho. But I think these days she seems to just enjoy acting and have a love for acting. I think she has a really authentic enthusiasm and enjoyment and like for acting. It's not just for revenge. It's got to be said though. I mean, what if it is? What if it is? Oh, she's doing it for revenge. Oh, okay. Like, I mean, obviously this isn't the real world, but and hypothetically, if this was the real world, okay, like, sometimes I want Kyoko to just say, like, you know what, Mr. Suruga, what if it is? Like, I kind of want her to, like, stand up for herself and just be like, get off my back, because it's like, for acting, actors, and actresses, I mean, fame, fortune, money are all motivations to become actors and to become famous. So it's not like outside of the realm of acting and whatnot to have less than ideal circumstances to want to do it. Hyuga wants it for revenge. Okay. Like, I mean, Ren doesn't have to like it, but like being in the business, like realistically, he should accept it. It's none of his business. She does it well. And like I said, though, I mean, it's hypothetical situation because Kyoko seems to actually like to act and has like you know genuine like for acting, but like he's got to get over it. I mean, seriously, he's just got to be like, you know, it's her life. I mean, if she's doing it for revenge, cool. Like, I mean, obviously, this kind of hints at maybe there's something a little more going on here. I don't really know. Kyoko passed high school. It seems like she did it quite easily. She's getting picked by Memori. Like I said, I always say this about Skip Beat. I'm gonna probably keep saying it, but Skip Beat is full of terrible people. That is just the thing. Memori is not a nice person. I mean, it's just Ren cannot always win. Kyoko's not a great person if you think about it. Like her motivation to act, her to just want to get revenge and whatnot, and her grudges coming out. Sho's not a great person. Momori's not a great person. I mean, she's jealous. Um, she seems a bit envious, a bit petty. A great foil for Kyoko, though. It's really interesting, though, that Kyoko can make her act well. Um, but, like I said, I think this might be the extent of what the whole thing with high school is going to be about, unless some other characters come along. Otherwise, Kyoko's in high school. She seems to be a good student. And then Mamori is kind of like this thorn in her side that wants to kind of be a thorn in her side, especially since Mamori has a thing for Sho, and then Sho seems to have a thing for Kyoko going on right now. Um, Moko got her first part in a drama, so she couldn't be in the promo clip. Should be interesting. I don't know if that's going to lead to anything. Um, but Moko seems to have a good relationship with Kyoko going on. We'll see what happens with Moko. I I don't think that they're just gonna like kind of leave her at the to the side. She's like pretty much Kyoko's only friend at this point. Shofua is around. This, you know what? This is kind of interesting. We're only like 7 volumes in, and Kyoko is already facing Sho. I honestly thought that this would happen way later in the series. And now Kyoko's appearing as an angel in the promo clip, and it's like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like, I thought the whole point of the story was for her to get the revenge. There's a lot more volumes at the volume 7, so this is really interesting. Like, oh wow, is she gonna get her revenge already? Like, does Sho get thrown by the way? I mean, like, I guess you have to have Shofua there. It's kind of like he can't be so absent, throughout the whole story. He was, even though he's not a great person, he is a strong character, and he's not someone that you can. And once again, a great foil for Kyoko. I mean, just a lot of characters are great foils for Kyoko, but like Sho like makes her. I mean, Kyoko like sees him and like kicks the dude, and then like grabs him by the collar and threatens him. I mean, he makes her go ballistic. Got introduced to Miss Asami. She seems nice. It's just one of those things where I don't know if we'll see more of her or if we'll just see her in the promo clip. She does she immediately recognizes Kyoko's acting ability. So, more and more people are starting to recognize it. Mamori recognizes it even though she, like, probably doesn't know it. She was getting, like, entranced by it. And now is, Sho's in trouble, you know? He, because Kyoko is the better actress at this point. She's got some latent ability, and yeah, we'll see if she finally gets the better of this guy. It'd be, uh, kind of like that just desserts type of thing. So before we get into the next volume, I'd like to plug my author's website at www.chrismaldong.com and read. And you guys can read a new blog post every week on there. I post every Sunday. Also, do you like anime? Do you like action, adventure, fantasy? You want to get transported to a different world? Do you want to meet the Mustard Prince and his friends, the Relish Knight, Ketchup, and Pickle Salt? Then buy my book, The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom, for just $4.99 via ebook on Amazon.com or on my author's website. Links to buy it will be provided on the page, the description. So let's go on to Volume 8. The volume begins with Shotaro Fuwa thinking about Kyoko. Mamori asks Kyoko if she was going out with Sho. Kyoko tells her that they are just childhood friends and that Sho doesn't see her as a woman. Sho tells Shoko that he still feels that Kyoko is his and that he has the right to do anything he wants with her. Sho is told to fall from his back facing Kyoko for the scene. Kyoko tells Sho that she'll put her heart and soul into the scene and do her best to act. Sho takes it as a challenge. So they do the scene, and Kyoko gets enraged and chokes Sho for real. Kyoko keeps getting enraged and messes up the scenes, and Sho approaches Kyoko and tells her that he wants a beautiful image and for her to do her absolute best to act. Oh, that scene. Yeah. Kyoko calls Moko but gets her voicemail. Then she calls Mr. Suruga, but she gets his voicemail. And she leaves an incomplete message to him. Moko calls Kyoko back and Kyoko explains the role to her. They're about to do the scene again and Kyoko seems tortured. Moko told her that in regards to the role, she'd hate her so much that she'd want to kill her too if she were like in this role. If she were Mamori, pretty much, playing Mamori's role. So in the scene, Kyoko starts crying, and Sho is just paralyzed as she chokes him. And this time, it's not rage choke, by the way. He recalls that she has cried like this before when they were kids. Sho falls, but doesn't close his eyes as he's falling like he's supposed to. Ren sees that Kyoko called him and checks his messages. Yashiro sees this and reveals that he hardly ever checks his messages. Ren calls her back, but she doesn't answer. Kyoko is still in tears and tells everyone that she's thought about her best friend hating her. Sho is relieved that Kyoko wasn't crying over her mother. When they were kids, Sho just froze when he saw Kyoko crying. They are informed that they had to reshoot the scene because Sho didn't close his eyes like he was supposed to. Kyoko then tells Sho to do his absolute best to act. Ooh, that was great. In Sho's dressing room, Mamori comes in and Sho hugs her after she gets upset. Kyoko was just passing by when she saw them together and saw the hug. Kyoko mentions that every time she cried as kids, Sho would just freeze up and look at her. So she stopped crying in front of Sho because she didn't want to trouble him. As a kid, Kyoko looked for a place to cry alone, and that's where she went out into the forest and met Korn. Ren calls Kyoko and Sho overhears. Kyoko was about to tell Suruga something good that happened at work, but Sho grabs the phone from her and tells Ren that she's happy she finished a job that'll make her more famous because she appeared in his promo clip. That's it for the something good report, he says, and then Sho then hangs up on him. Sho asks Kyoko if she hates Ren Suruga, but her hate waves come out in full force. Ren eats with Yashiro. He thinks about the call and recognizes the voice as Sho Fuwa's. Maria visits Kyoko as she does paperwork, just like the next day. Kyoko then pushes a cart, and Maria suggests to congratulate Moko for her first job as an actress. They run into Ren, but he's clearly angry with Kyoko. He tells her that she appeared in the promo clip for Sho Fuwa, so he knew what was going on. Ren mentions that he'd met Sho Fuwa and asks Kyoko if she had her revenge. Kyoko says that she didn't accept the job for the promo clip for revenge, and then she claims that it might be a fun job, and she ended up accepting it anyways. Uh, Ren gives an angry humph. I did that bad. Humph. Ang- and then angrily he tells her that he's glad that she had fun. Right, Ren. Kyoko and Maria talk and wonder why Ren was so angry. Moko passes by them looking depressed. Moko won't tell Kyoko what the problem is. She tells her that she deals with things herself. And then Yashiro talks to Ren. Ren was angry at a meeting for a new job. This is elsewhere. So Yashiro figures that the he that Ren was talking about was Sho Fuwa. Yashiro asks what it is about Kyoko and Fuwa that makes him so angry. Back with Kyoko, she and Maria spy on Moko. It's revealed that Moko had a serious talk with Supervisor Matsushima. Um, Back with Ren, Yashiro puts on thin rubber gloves that doctors use, and Ren gives him his phone. Yashiro threatens that he'll break his cell phone with his hands unless Ren does as he says and answers his question about Kyoko and Fuwa. Back with Kyoko, Kyoko and Maria see Moko dressed up and wearing a wig while on a date. They then see Moko going into a Rolls Royce with a middle aged man. So she had a date with this younger guy and then is now with this middle aged man. So Kyoko's at work at the restaurant. Kyoko hears a familiar voice and sees that it's Moko wearing an even different wig and clothes. She's eating with someone she calls her father, but this person, her father calls Moko Katsumi. So at the acting school, Kyoko casually mentions what she saw to Moko, and Moko tells her that it's none of her business, and that makes Kyoko cry. Some students question why Moko is at the school to begin with or at this time when she's appearing in a drama. That's still apparently ongoing. At LME, Kyoko walks around in her lovely uniform, very angry and gets ticked off at some random people. A kid pushes her from behind and tells her that she must be Kanae Kotonami's partner. The kid tells her that he comes from 3 generations of super celebrities. They can destroy newcomers like her and Kanae Kotonami in a flash. The kid says that Kanae Kotonami acted violently and injured him. He has a bandage on his head, actually. So at the end of the volume, he tells her that Kanae Kotonami's career is over. So some thoughts. Sho Fuwa, man, this guy. Oh man, this guy is just something else. I mean, it's just like, yeah, Kyoko couldn't was too enraged to depart, but to just be like, please do your best to act, and it's like totally condescending way. This guy deserves every bad thing that happens to him. You know what I mean? Um, this one's very interesting though, and the last one because like it kind of shows that Sho is a bit deeper. I mean, than he presented himself to be, especially in regards to his relationship to Kyoko. I mean, when he said that he still finds Kyoko to be like his, is pretty messed up. And like I said, like this manga is just full of like terrible people. Shofu is a pretty terrible guy, but there's layers to this guy. And and Kyoko as children, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and it really showed to now because it just like he was always around her, she saw him cry. He didn't know how to really deal with it well. And then, now in the present, it's just like, this full circle of like, well, I don't want to trouble you. It's like, wow, that was a dagger, actually. It's like, wow, that was a pretty hurtful thing to say to show, in a sense, you know? And so they have something going on here because they have such a connection that just isn't going to go away. Sho and Kyoko. Um, it's a lot deeper than it appeared to be, like in the first one when he just totally used her. I mean, and I'm kind of glad where it's just like, oh yeah, we're childhood friends, and I betrayed her, and done. And it's just like this real surface level, like d- bad deed. You know what I mean? But like now we're getting like a little deeper with the relationship, and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't say they're boyfriend girlfriend or anything like that, but they have a deep relationship nonetheless. I mean, I think that's a bit undeniable at this point. And then Sho seems a bit jealous of Kyoko, so maybe Sho has a thing for Kyoko now. I mean, that's kind of where this was leading to, especially when she's dressed up as the angel. And then she, I mean, he doesn't like Ren Suruga, so when like she's talking to Ren, I can see why he'd take the phone away and whatnot. But another part of that could be easily. It looks more like jealousy, if anything else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this the love triangle going on? Sho, Ren, and Kyoko, kind of pointing there. I don't really know where Shen. Oh, excuse me. Where Sho, why did I say Shin? Sho goes from here though, because it's just kind of like the promo clip's over. Kyoko got her revenge. You know what I mean? She kind of she's not as big as Sho Fuwa, but like she didn't get her revenge. Okay, excuse me. She did not get her revenge, but she won a battle in this war, and a already pivotal battle where it's kind of like, hey, Kyogo's like, I'm here, I'm acting. I was in this Carrara commercial, and I'm becoming a better actor. Like she's on the up. She's moving on up. So it seems a bit inevitable that she's going to catch up to Sho in some way, shape, or form. So this is going to be really interesting to see moving forward how they're going to put Sho Fuwa in the story, uh, if they are. Like I imagine that they're going to. Um, and her relation, the this budding relationship, whatever it is between Sho and Kyoko. Um, man, what? Yeah, that move though, with Sho taking Kyoko's phone and Ren called her, was a total uh, bad jerk move, as I guess. It's just a total jerk move. Like I said, he's not a great guy. Um, but the thing is, Ren isn't exactly the greatest guy too, and this guy was just steaming when uh, when it comes to Kyoko and Shofua. I mean, I think we got it. He has to like Kyoko because why would he be so angry? And then Ren actually has a childhood thing going on with Kyoko as well. So, and Kyoko doesn't seemingly know about it. So there's a deeper relationship going on there too. I kind of wonder if Ren and Sho are going to have some sort of like showdown or something like that because like there's always kind of these like shots fired things like Fuwa. It's usually done by Sho Fuwa, It's just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna tip this thing over on him, and now this phone call thing. So it's usually Shofua that's always like firing the shots. Um, it would be really interesting, It'd just be like if Ren and Show actually fought each other or something. Like that'd be like, I mean, it's a show to a manga. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that I think that'd be really interesting. Speaking of a guy that's fired some shots, Yashiro, where did this guy come from? You know what I mean? Dude, this guy's breaking phones. I had no idea he had this much grip strength. I, yeah, it was actually a pretty funny scene seeing Yashiro act that way. Um, like I said, this is a series of not so great people, I guess. Yashiro's been, a pretty good guy, but even he kind of has something of a dark side, And then there's Moko. It looks like they're going back to Moko and already talking about this drama from the last one. Last one's got the drama, and now it's kind of seeping into this volume. Like the events that are happening with this drama are now a part of the story. So Moko, once again, not the nicest person. Like I said, a lot. Skip Beat is just full of terrible people. Um, and Moko is just totally aloof and distant with Kyoko about this, and just doesn't want to share her feelings. And Kyoko is just so sad about it. But this is going to be interesting because did Moko attack this new kid who also, once again, not a great kid. Like I said, these are not nice people. They are not good people per se. And so this new kid, he seems pretty mean, kind of bratty, and pivotal to the story. It's kind of like the next villain, if you will. Like I'm a bit curious to see what his connection is to Miss Kotanami, and then Kyoko seems to be involved in it as well. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this manga review. Next time, I will have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 9 and 10, a reading of my short story, The Witch's Origin, and in a few weeks, a movie review for Black Panther. Thank you, and until next time.